The world's top endurance racers will face one of humanity's toughest challenges. A new era within endurance racing and climate activation. All for the benefit of our world waters and the award of $100,000. Our Homer to Lanzarote, 250 kilometers and a distance of 6 marathons, running and swimming.
Go, go, go!
Mixed teams. First to finish.
Come on, we can make it!
No track. Navigation and orienteering non-stop.
Ah!
Who will make the right decisions? Who can handle the open sea, currents, wind, rocks, deep forest, severe weather conditions, and the complete darkness?
Come on! Come on!
Who can handle the extreme distance and the physical and mental degradation breakdown? Who will make it and who will not? One water race, the ultimate proof of human capacity.
Welcome to the global launch of One Water Race, a new era in endurance racing and climate activation. One Water Race is a new development in endurance racing and a unique concept that strives to establish the world's toughest race. This is in a completely unique environment, the world's largest archipelago with 30,000 islands and perhaps one of the most beautiful places on Earth, Stockholm's archipelago in Sweden. But One Water Race also has a larger purpose and a clear goal: to use the power of human capacity to combat the threats against our waters and restore their health. Maybe humanity's toughest challenge. In the studio we have the founders and initiators, Thomas Ogandes and Patrik Joknik. Welcome both of you.
Thank you.
And Thomas, to start with, what is this? What is One Water Race and what's the idea behind it?
Well, I have a background in sports, television and media, and have worked with some of the world's largest sport rights, such as Formula 1 and the Olympic Games. And I have really experienced the drive and the commitment that sports have. I know this can be used in the media and the content-driven world that we live in today to create awareness and drive change. I also have a great passion for endurance racing, and I've felt that something is missing within race format and TV production that really highlights the sport and those who are the really best endurance racers in the world. And I think that endurance racing is both a sport, but it's also an achievement that deserves all the attention it can get, but also has the drama that with the right media production can bring more attention to the racers and reach out to globally and to a greater audience, actually.
Mm-hmm. But above all, One Water Race has a greater purpose as well.
We're facing one of humanity's greatest challenges. The well-being of our water and oceans is deteriorating at an alarming rate. But since it's us, humans, who have caused it, we can also reverse it. And it must happen now. We only have one planet and one water. Sweden has long been in the forefront when it comes to issues regarding healthy water. Now, the bar is set even higher when the One Water concept is launched. One Water brings together leading experts, organizations, and companies in Sweden and globally for a clear purpose. We want to accelerate change towards a healthier world water. We can do this through the One Water Symposium, an annual physical and digital gathering based in the Stockholm archipelago. There, debates, lectures, and exhibitions come together in a progressive and easily accessible format. Seminars are streamed, lessons are shared, and innovations are highlighted. We also want to show the infinite power we all have within us by launching One Water Race, one of the world's toughest endurance challenges. One of our most important initiatives is the establishment of an education platform. One Water Education for schools, children, and young people. with the purpose to convey knowledge, arouse interest, and create commitment for future generations. Our world water is increasingly on the business agenda, and water has a significant impact on the world economy. One Water is a place where Sweden and international businesses can show their commitment, interest, and innovations for the development of a healthier water and climate. With One Water, we can secure Sweden's position as an innovative driving force globally. But most important of all, we can accelerate change in a common effort to stop a catastrophic development. We only have One Water.
Patrick, why did you choose to combine a race with a situation for the climate and for the waters?
So both Thomas and myself have a personal connection with the Stockholm archipelago, so it felt like a natural setting for the One Water race. But fundamentally, it was always important to us that we offer something more than just a professional race experience. As Thomas mentioned, sport has an enormous appeal and reach, so we wanted to create a unique opportunity to use One Water race as a platform for where we could engage with climate development, specifically our waters. The situation with our world's waters, as we know, it's very strained today, and unfortunately we're facing a negative development. We want to ensure that as many people as possible understand the scope of this challenge and together can help change the tendency.
It is difficult to find a better and more beautiful place to experience our world waters than the one we have right here in Stockholm Archipelago.
Stockholm Archipelago is the world's largest archipelago with more than 30,000 islands and all types of terrain, from bare cliffs to deep forests. An area spanning more than 1,700 square kilometers. The Swedish outdoor access rights gives you a unique possibility to roam the archipelago and offers an outstanding environment for outdoor activities and adventures. Stockholm Archipelago strives to be a role model for climate activation and is a proud partner of One Water race. Welcome to Sweden and Stockholm Archipelago.
Now it's time to get into the depth of what One Water race really is, a concept that has the ambition to be the world's toughest race. Okay, tell us about how you thought when you created the idea.
Well, just to start with, we want to take endurance racing to a new level from a number of different perspectives, where we're inspired by adventure racing, orienteering, swim-run, ultramarathons, etc. Our starting point is the human body and the power that we all have within us and what we can achieve with it. We can run and we can swim. And then we have the team perspective. We are driven by collaboration between people, and One Water race is a team competition. It's a team race, and where both sexes must be represented.
Finally, One Water race is an extreme challenge and thereby not necessarily suitable for everyone. The race will feature 10 incredibly strong endurance teams. All applications will be reviewed, but only a handful will start the race.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough selection. Here you see all the race concept in detail.
The concept is straightforward. Starting at Arholma in the north, the first to reach Landsort in the south is crowned the winner. Running and swimming the only method of movement. No track, free choice of route, but with some unknown checkpoints needed to pass along the way. Navigation and orienteering will prove a critical component of the race. A new route each year, thereby making it impossible to plan in advance. The race distance is about 250 kilometers, a distance of 6 marathons, split up into approximately 200 kilometers running and 50 kilometers swimming. Running takes place on all types of terrain: rocks, cliffs, gravel roads, paths, but mostly unpaved and difficult terrain. Swimming is in open sea and can often feature strong winds, currents and waves. One Water race is a professional race and created for the absolute best endurance races in the world. There's a maximum of 10 teams able to participate, with the teams needing to go through an application process whereby the most suitable are selected. Each team consists of 3 racers, with both sexes needing to be represented. All 3 racers must be out on the course the entire time. Each team will also have a 4th member, a team captain, who is responsible for the planning and the navigation of the race. The race organization will provide each team with its own safety boat and professional skipper. This will serve as the team and captain's headquarters during the entire race. This is where the route will be planned, as well as where food, nutrition and safety equipment for the night and swims will be prepared. The race is divided into 5 stages, with each stage having an unknown checkpoint to be passed. It will be up to each team and captain to choose the route they consider to be the best and fastest. For more information and registration, visit onewaterrace.com.
Now we'll talk about the race from a racer's perspective with people who have actually done the race. Johanna and Annika, welcome both to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you.
Annika, you are the 5-time swim run world champion, and Johanna, endurance athlete, 3-time Swedish champion in night orienteering. Yes. How did you find the race when you did it this summer?
Thomas, he asked me if I wanted to do this race, and I couldn't say no. It was a really challenge and really, really fun.
Mm-hmm. And Annika, you have actually done it twice.
Yes, but in different ways, because this year was non-stop. Last year we divided the distance during 3 days and slept overnight, so that was, well, it made it easier.
Mm-hmm. But is it possible to do it in one way?
I think so, yes, but it is a challenge, but I definitely think it's doable.
You are really experienced in night orienteering, but this was something else, in water, on land, and in a combination.
Yes, it was really tough because we had a 1 to 50,000 map scale, and it doesn't have so many details, so it was hard to navigate, especially in the night. But recently they have made a laser map, and now they're really good maps. So next year it will be really funny to do this competition.
Mm-hmm. Annika, you have, as I mentioned, a huge experience from swim run. How do you see on this concept, One Water Race?
Well, this is different because it's not a marked trail as it is in normal swim run competition. So here there are checkpoints that you have to pass through, and you can choose what way you want to each checkpoint. So you could run more if you would like, and swim more if you're a better swimmer. So that's the challenge, which is different from normal swim run competitions.
Mm-hmm. What do you say about that?
I think it's really funny, because then you have to be good at navigation, and you have to be able to read an orienteering map. This
is really for people that can stand a lot.
Yes.
What would you say to the people that are thinking about maybe do it?
You have to try to swim in the night before you do this, because that was a challenge.
Yeah.
And that's pretty different, huh?
Completely different. You really must rely on your safety boat, I would say, because you can't really see anything, where to go. So. And you can't really have a what do you call it, compass in your hand when you can't to keep the direction. So it is, yeah, that's a very, very tough challenge. When I compare this year to last year, the water temperature was lower this year than last year, and it is tougher. I think that could be definitely a huge challenge if it's very cold in the water. We were freezing a lot.
Both of us.
Both of us.
Yeah.
The coldness is more challenging than the distance, for example?
Yes, because when you're freezing, you lose a lot of energy, and that can be devastating, especially if you're going to navigate after. When you come up to the water on a really cold and freezing and start navigating, it's tough.
We saw on your shaking hands there, Johanna, you were freezing a lot.
Yes. It was so many short runs and long swims, So I couldn't get up the heat in between. So that was hard, really, really tough. I have never frozen so much.
Thank you very much for coming here. One water race is a fascinating and complicated race concept that requires an experienced organization and serious safety. Per Westman is head of safety and a very experienced skipper as well. You have been involved in the process of developing the race from a safety perspective. What would you say is the biggest challenges?
Well, I would say the biggest challenge is the distance, and that the teams are spread out along the course, and not the least the swims at night in cold and darkness, something that we experienced this year. We're working hard on the security, and security always comes first.
You have equipment to make sure that the safety is retained.
Of course, yeah, each team will have their own security boat and an experienced skipper from the organization, and that will become the safety boat for each team, and of course the headquarters for each team. And the boat will follow the team along the way. It will meet up at the start of the swims, it will follow along the swims, and then all the way to the exits, and be the safety boat for all times during the race.
So they are always there?
They're always there, always there.
How about the communications?
We have an advanced communication system where each team have a tracker. So we can both contact the teams, and the teams can contact the headquarters or the safety boat. So if something happens, we will find them, we can see them, we can talk to them. So we always have a direct connection.
I imagine the safety is even more important night times. This is pretty new for a lot of athletes.
Yes, it is, and night swimming is a big challenge. I mean, the race takes place in August when it's totally dark, and during the swims they will not be seen at all from other boats. So they will have their own illuminated safety buoy, and they will have waterproof headlamps. And the safety boat also have really strong searchlights, so they can track the teams. They can also be helpful with navigation or being used as a direction light for the swimmers.
Is there anything else you would like to comment when it comes to safety?
That we take it really seriously. I mean, you can't release of safety.
Thank you very much, Per. The technical development is a big part of the safety, but One Water Race also wants to bring technical innovation into endurance racing and be a platform and benchmark for how technology and innovation can contribute to an increased viewing experience to lift and broaden interest in the sports. Now welcome Mattias Gildestad, Technical Director, and Anders Murman, Scientific Advisor. Mattias, we start with you. Tell us about the technology that will be used during this race.
Yeah. And for the broadcasting, we will be able to track the competitors to see where they're at and follow their choice on the route of the course. There will be maps where the viewer can follow the team's progress and see their positioning in real time. Live leaderboards are going to be available and show the speeds the teams are making, and the positioning and the distance between the teams and how far they are from the finishing line. When it comes to safety, we will add tracking with heart condition, nutrition condition, metabolic conditions, and other biometrical data that can help us understand how the competitors feel and to prevent dangerous situations for the participants.
And how will you actually measure the athletes? What kind of sensors are you using?
Yeah, so what we are using and what our expertise are and what we are developing further on are microsensors. So microsensors are sensors that you put on a ship, and our specialty is in non-invasive biometrics that we measure from liquids, sweat, saliva, or gases, what you exhale, what you exhume, and electricity in terms of electricity around your heart and your brain.
And that can be transformed into data that we can take part of, we who are following the race?
Yeah, that's the plan. And today I have to stress that today when you are testing an elite athlete, a maximum load test, you sit on a training bike and you bike like hell and with a lot of wires around your body and a gas mask on top of it. And that's not really relevant for a cross-country skier or a swim runner.
No, I
You have to
cannot
test
imagine.
it in the environment, and that's our vision and our speciality, that you would actually test it while you're actually swimming. And in particular in this race, we want to get that data that are live. And then again, to present that data in a TV format, that's really not been done, and I think that would be exciting.
One water race is a unique format. It's the world's toughest race, but it is also a concept that has a dramaturgy that is suitable for media and for content. Welcome, Johan Westman. How will you produce One Water Race?
Thanks for having me. One Water Race will have a unique framing and media production that represents the highest international standard and the latest technology. The race will be produced on land, in water, underwater, and up in the air. So we will use the most advanced technology to be able to obtain the state-of-the-art sports and physiological data from each racer and their teams. So our aim is to, One Water Race will be a benchmark for professional sports production and innovative technology.
What components has One Water Race that makes it so interesting?
I think there is a lot, but I can mention a few. We have the distance, which is huge. We have the team composition of both sexes. We have day, night, and of course we have the weather. We have the navigation and orientation, which will be, of course, crucial for the race. And we have the human exhaustion, and that will create a dramaturgy that is unparalleled and that we do not see in so many other TV formats today. Last but absolutely not the least, we will have the most beautiful places in the world, the Stockholm archipelago, and a scene that is completely unique.
One Water Race will be a new era within endurance racing and a complement to adventure racing, ultra races, etc. Now let's talk with some really experienced racers from Kraken Swimrun.
What I remember the best of the whole Arholma Landsort is that not only the long distance, but it was also to be able for the whole group to work together. It was quite impressive how everyone was helping each other. And without that, I think we would not have been able to come to the finish line.
After 3 days and 42 hours, 90 islands and 203 kilometers running, 45 kilometers swimming, and an unparalleled human challenge, the group finally reached the finishing line, Landsort.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well made.
We made it.
Finally.
Christine, Pontus, George, welcome to the studio. Pontus and George, how did you experience it?
It was something really new compared to what we have done before. This time it was all about trying to fight against the nature or go with the nature instead of having other competitors to try to race against.
It was also a challenge to whether we could make it at all. I mean, just the distance itself. So it was more about seeing where the limits were, and so it was nothing we knew for certain that we could do, even though we believed that we could do it.
And last year you had breaks and you were sleeping and resting in the nighttime. Now it's a non-stop race. How do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a lot about taking care of yourself. I mean, it's an extreme distance, and I think you have to pace yourself and your teammates just to get to the finish line.
What do you say, Pontus?
I think it adds a totally new dimension, and I think it's going to be very tough, but also very fun.
What will be the biggest challenges, you think, George?
Well, I think it's going to be a challenge, well, time-wise, and also being so exposed during daytime, nighttime, and as Christine said, it's going to be a lot about taking care of yourself, since we're not certain that you will actually make it all the way. In comparison to other races, you know that you're going to make it all the way if you don't get hurt. But this is going to add a lot of other aspects that could make it so that you don't finish.
Yeah, that's sure another dimension.
Yeah.
You have the experience of being in a competition for a very long time, lack of sleep and so on. How do you prepare for that?
Well, yeah, you don't really prepare to not sleep, but I think it's a lot to prepare mentally before. You need to be ready to suffer a lot, and you need to know that you will have down periods, but also you just need to get through them, and then you feel better again. And that's why I think it's so important to race in a team, because then you can help each other and push yourself all the way.
Pontus, what makes this race so interesting for you?
It's going to be the toughest endurance race out there, so it's going to be a really epic race, and with long nights and days.
I've said several times this night, this is going to be the toughest race in the world. Am I exaggerating, or is that what it's going to be?
No, I think you're on point there. I think there's nothing out there that compared to this, both distance-wise, the time, and also the exposure to nature. And with that many swims also during the night, that's going to be something different and something new.
Are you guys going to be there?
Yes.
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 The registration is now open and the admissions process has begun for One Water Race, humanity's toughest challenge. Finally, Thomas and Patrik, it's a comprehensive investment you're making in both endurance racing and for the environment.
Absolutely. Really want to set a new level in endurance racing, and we also want to highlight the world's best endurance races and give them credit really for what is required to master this challenge. Absolutely.
Are you looking forward to it, Patrik?
Super excited. It's going to be an incredible journey ahead. We want to celebrate the sport, we want to celebrate the athletes, we want to celebrate nature. So there's a lot of celebrations, but the stage is now set, and Stockholm awaits with her open arms.
And the dates are fixed as well, Thomas?
Yes, we have the 23rd to the 25th of August 2022.
Take a look at onewaterrace.com. There's all the information you need. We are thanking you for watching us today, and good luck with the race next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in Stockholm.